Hi, welcome, beautiful souls. Welcome to the Sacred Heart Awakenings channel. In today's video, I would like to discuss the truth about narcissism or narcissistic relationships, romantic relationships. Have you ever been in a narcissist romantic relationship? Did you know that this type of relationship causes damage to the heart from a physical and an energy perspective, which I'll get into further throughout the video as to why that is. And it also leads to PTSD and so much stress, which is part of the PTSD trauma. So I'm Monica Bermudez. I am an intuitive self-love energy healer. And I would like to discuss in this video the cases or the signs of a narcissist and the cases of real life situations of narcissist people out there in the world, and I will also tell you my story, my personal experience with a narcissist relationship. And I will also advise or tip on how to handle a narcissist and provide some tips on how to heal from it. And it's not an easy thing to do. Obviously, it's a very difficult situation to be in. A narcissist is always looking to have power over you. So it's this form of power struggle of them being better than you, and they're always going to be right. So there really is no win when it comes to a narcissist. So what are some of the signs of a narcissist? So the other terms used with a narcissist that is associated with it is gaslighting or gaslit, which means name calling or putting you down. And that all is part of being in a narcissist romantic relationship. Some of the signs are related to lies, and they have a way with exaggerating their lie, and they have their own unique relationship with the lie. They don't give up on lying, and it's all about their ego and their own image. And if you catch them, they dismiss you right away. So they act very much into confidence as to what the lie is about, and they turn it around and they make you feel like you're the bad person, that you're the one making this up. And one day they may say one thing to you, the next day it's something different. They'll deny that they even said it, and they'll just fabricate the lie and twist it around, or twist things that you may have said and turn it into half truth. So it's a form of manipulation. And so those are some signs to be aware of. And usually, as much as angles you try to find with them, they will try to find a different angle, because it's all about them winning. It's all about them having power over you. So this causes stress, because it makes you think that they make you think that you're imagining things, that you're the crazy one. And to them, in their world, they're always the victim in all things. So they can never acknowledge what they've said, and they're never going to be wrong. So that's something to keep in mind when you're in a narcissist relationship. And the reason why it causes post-traumatic stress disorder, which is PTSD, is because of the great amount of stress that you get in that relationship, of wondering whether you really did say those things, or whether you really had that conversation. So a lot of the name throwing, the gaslighting, making you look crazy and making you think that you never had such a conversation, that that person would never say that to you, and they'll just keep saying that. And as much as you try to tell them and catch them in what they're saying, they'll keep dismissing you, and they'll just label you as being an angry person, or whatever they want to label you as, because that is their way of hiding. That is their way of being a victim. So that's for sure. Like some of the cases, for instance, real life cases that have existed in this world, some of the frauds. There was a case about Elizabeth Holmes with the Serrano's company, which was technology for the medical industry, and she had fooled many of the investors in it, and which turned out to be not even the case. And then she ends up being caught. And even so, when she was caught, she still denied or dismissed it. And I'm sure that she still does till this day. But the point is that though, when it comes to a narcissist, they also act very calm and very confident in themselves, and that they're better, that they're saints, and that they know more than you. And so there's no way that they would ever lie, because in their mind, they have created this own world of theirs, a world of fantasy that is their own. So they just pretty much like literally just live in this bubble of their own reality. And they just have almost like no conscience whatsoever of even acknowledging that it's a lie or that it's something else. So it becomes pathologic, and that's a psychological terminology as well. And it's very true cases of it. So it's just, they're just not aware, and they don't want to be aware. They don't want to have acknowledgement of it. They just don't want to face that truth. And in most cases, this type of behavior is due to a self-image and self-worth of their own power. So it's the false power of their own, where they want to attach themselves to a certain power by putting others down in their own way. And that is the case in most romantic relationships. At least that was in my experience. So they want to, when they see that if you are independent, for example, and they try every angle to put you down. So they'll try the emotional, psychological, and even spiritual aspect of this type of abuse. In some cases, it may even get physical. But that's really what the narcissist tries to do, to sway you and to bring you down so that they can look better. And so then they think that they're helping you. When they bring you down, they try to bring you up, they think that they're helping you. And then that strokes their ego in a way as well. So for many light workers and healers, I believe they also suffer a lot more, or they get attracted to this, because in some ways they feel that they can heal this person when they just don't realize that they could actually be their own clients. But of course, there goes a lot with this message and how it ties to my story, which I'll get into. So for me personally, I did find myself in a romantic relationship, which led to my divorce and led to many different paths of spiritual awakening that I didn't even realize that I was in a narcissist relationship till after the fact, till I went through my own awakening, my own process of healing, that I started to see what had happened and the damage of what was going on. And part of it, what gets us attracted to one another in relationships, it's due to the mirror. So our inner world mirrors the outer world. So if we're not totally together inside, you will fall into this pattern of attracting these unhealthy relationships. Like in my case, I didn't realize that I really was a healer. And I was attracting men in my life who I felt I needed to fix. But it was more at a subconscious level. And I would confuse that with love, thinking that if I help this person, then I love them because I really want to help them. But there was also some other underlying parts of me that needed healing, which happens in most cases. It was that whole self-worth and the self-image that I needed to really work on myself. My own self-image, my self-worth, and my self-love. And all those things that I realized after the fact, which led me on this path of the spiritual awakening and this higher calling that has brought me here to be giving these public forums with you and sharing love wisdom with you as a loving messenger and guide. So the information I share with you and the tips, the signs, the tips for healing do come from a lot of love, but it's also part of my own personal experience that I went through for many years of my own path of healing. So in other cases, going back to some of the other cases that happen in real life, you have examples of The Wolf of Wall Street. It's an actual movie that's out there, but it's based on a true story from 1980s from a broker who was able to manipulate the stock system or manipulate other people into thinking they were buying the best stock, but turned out to be a lie. And then there was a recent case about the Fire Fest that happened, I believe, somewhere in the Caribbean. There's a documentary on Netflix about it. It's about how so many thousands of people were fooled into thinking that it was going to be this grand concert of having all these celebrities come together. And people paid a lot of money for this. And they showed up and there was nothing there. And again, there was this whole denial of them even saying any of that wasn't true. So making others think that they're the crazy ones when in fact it was all just a fraud and a scandal. So the same thing can happen in a romantic relationship in situations like the one that I shared, for example, is a true story. And so I share this message with you in the hopes that it will assist you and help you if you find yourself in a situation with an unhealthy, toxic, narcissistic type or narcissist type relationship in your life. So what is the best way to handle being in this type of romantic relationship or relationship with a narcissist? The best way to handle it is to just disconnect yourself from them. In other words, remove yourself from the situation. Become aware of it and know that this is unhealthy for you and you don't deserve it. So do you find yourself, you're in a marriage with it, then you may want to consider, obviously I can't decide for you what you make your decision, which was the case for me. Nobody could decide for me. It was up to me to make such a hard decision because it's fearful and it's heartbreaking knowing that you're going to go on a different path, not knowing where it's leading you or what your life is going to be like. And it happens for any romantic relationship, right? Any breakup, whether it's divorce or just breaking up with someone. your partner, someone you thought you spent your life with, that you love. So yes, it hurts the heart. But that is the best way when you do find yourself in an unhealthy relationship, is to disconnect. When I finally decided that I would divorce and go down this different path, I thought that maybe I could still be friends, but it turned out that it wasn't the case. So I completely disconnected myself from that individual because I felt that I needed that for my healing path forward. Now, if you do find yourself with kids, of course, obviously, if there's ways that you're not able to completely disconnect, then the next best thing to do is to not give your power away to them. In other words, don't react to what they say to you. And it's best to use your own energy of protection before even having to go interact with them. So everything's about energy, and there's always something with energy. So talking about stress and how it all impacts the heart, stress in the physical form has shown in studies, in scientific studies and medical studies, that it causes the heart to accelerate, and it causes high blood pressure. And so the more you get of this heart acceleration in the long run, it will damage your heart. And it will cause heart attacks. And that's what's been the case with many PTSD cases, trauma. That's what stress does in the long run. And of course, from a brain perspective, it also causes stress in other organs like the brain. The hippocampus gets impacted, which is the memory. But since I'm very heart focused, I know that the heart is the foundation. It is the place, the starting place for the balance of your whole body, which is your temple. So now we talked about the physical aspect of the heart and what stress does. But let's look at it from an energetic perspective. The chakra of the heart center. This also gets impacted. So your heart feels it's closed up, it's heartbroken, that it doesn't want to deal with, opening up. It's very difficult to open up to any other relationship. So certainly that's not the way you want to live, because obviously you want to be in a relationship. And you do deserve to be in a relationship. You just deserve to be in a healthy relationship. Because humans are meant to live with love and joy. And that is the way of the new earth, the new future that we are standing upon. It's 2020, it's the end, almost the end of 2020. And there has been many changes going on, as we've seen. In all of this, it's time for us to really come together. It's time for us to really see our own self-worth and our self-love, our self-compassion. Because you deserve it. And just know that that is true. So what are ways then to heal from this trauma, this PTSD due to a narcissist relationship? Well, number one, you want to acknowledge that the situation and the pain happened. So you may want to start writing about it. For example, if you want to just see it, be a witness, or get a friend, a close friend, somebody of confidence that you can trust who is positive and uplifting to hold space for you, to be your witness and acknowledge what you just went through and accept it, right? There's also an aspect of accepting that. So number 2, you want to be able to still express your feelings. So mourn the loss. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to cry. It's okay to release. It's okay to also feel anger and frustration. It's okay to let out whatever range of emotion comes out of you, and to allow yourself that space of your own self-care. Because in a way, by you allowing yourself to express your emotions, is also a form of your own self-care and self-acknowledgement, self-nurturing. Number 3, break the cycle now. So what does that mean? So don't just jump into another relationship. Allow your time to really assess all relationships, including the one you just got out of. Notice any patterns that you may have been already doing in these past relationships. That's exactly what happened to me. When I divorced, I spent time on my own, really looking at all the patterns. And I realized that at a subconscious level, I felt there were some patterns due to karma and ancestral that I really wanted to just remove or transform so that I was able to be back in a healthy relationship and just break those cycles. And not only break the cycles inside of me, but help my family break the cycles of energy. And we are all interconnected with energy. And that's where our cells store memories of our past lives, including carrying that energy from our own family lineage, which is our ancestors, of the pain and trauma that they went through as well. And some of these are called mother wounds and father wounds. And so as spiritual as I was, I did everything I could to try to heal myself. But the one thing that really helped me the most in breaking that cycle and breaking those patterns and really start to open my heart and start on this whole path of this whole spiritual awakening was light language, which I channel. And just to briefly explain to you what light language is, they are energy codes. They come out as sound. They come out a very different language form for the one who speaks it. But the sound has specific energy codes that come from the star system. For some, it's specific star systems. For some, they channel specific light beings. And the energy itself, the codes, helps to rewire and reprogram other limiting beliefs of patterns that are stuck in the cell. And they get transmuted. So this was my last resort for really wanting to accelerate and breaking this cycle. And the minute that I started to listen to light language, it really was shifting me in so many ways of just liberating me that I felt lighter. And I started to feel more joy. And to the point that it also activated my own light language. Because what happens is that we get disconnected from our own source connection when we are buried in the junk of these patterns, of these emotions, of these karmic and ancestral patterns that kind of become like us, but they're not really us. And then you have energy that's also been projected by others, not just by this lifetime, but the many past lifetimes that you've lived as a human. So think about, if you had lived millions of lifetimes, how much trauma you may be carrying inside your cells, the layers of it. As in my case, what I did was light language and the energy codes. That was my experience, and that is why now I channel light language and I use it to support people, to help them also break those cycles. So number 4, get support when needed. Find a healer, find a coach, find a mentor you connect with, or even a friend that you feel very confident and you connect with, and have them be your support, someone to just talk to and just let out some steam of the things that happen, or just, hang out with and just have fun or do something different. Which leads us to number 5, and this one is know thyself. As it was mentioned in ancient times, like ancient Egypt and Delphos of Greece, in the temples of Delphos of the ancient Greeks, it is written, know thyself. Well, this knowledge has been carried even further past into other ancient civilizations like Atlantis and Lemuria, as well as our star system, star families. So it's an ancient knowledge that has been passed down through the mystery schools. And this phrase says a lot. And even so many of the Greek philosophers even talked about it themselves. Such philosophers like Plato and Aristotle. And the message in that is, spend time with yourself to get to know yourself. What are the things that you like to do? What are the things that you want in life, especially in a relationship? Because the more that you start to get to know yourself, then you'll know what kind of relationship you're looking for. And I'm speaking of romantic relationship. So when you're ready and it's time for you, you can get back out there and get back into a dating life with confidence. So just know that, and I hope that these tips do help you in recovering and healing from a narcissist relationship and the trauma from it, the stress from it, the PTSD, because you don't deserve to be in stress. You don't deserve to be stuck, and you deserve to be in those healthy relationships. Now, as part of my journey, I offer a free gift, and you'll find in the description area. It's 9 signs your heartbreak is a spiritual awakening. So if you're coming out of some romantic relationship or you've had some form of heartbreak, that's usually meant to shake you up. It's a wake-up call, because it's time to wake up and realize of who you really are, which is the point of number 5 of know thyself. Because it also goes back to your soul purpose. It could be a soul purpose with your divine partner. So all of those things, situations that happen to us, is part of a wake-up call. And you're being put into this cocoon, preparing you to be this beautiful butterfly. So that's the free gift. The 9 signs your heartbreak is a spiritual awakening. So I provide this to you as a free gift. So please click on the link below and claim it. And also, I offer if you need extra support, I offer a complimentary Sacred Heart Awakenings Breakthrough Session that is designed for conscious men and women who are looking to explore this area of support for their heart to be rebuilt and to be able to establish a balance and a self-love so that they can move forward and be able to date again. So having their heart open. So as part of the session, we do a heart energy diagnosis and a repair support system. And as part of the energy, what comes is the light language support that I channel. As I describe to you what happened to me in my personal experience and what really shifted my life, which I wish for you as well. So I look forward to hearing your comments and any questions you may have. But just know that everything always gets better, and everything will get better because everything is already better. If we're speaking about the present, and everything's about the now and the present and staying present. And just know your own self-worth. You deserve your own love. You deserve your own compassion. So just take it easy on yourself. And I look forward to hearing from you and connecting with you. And just as a reminder, I will be posting 2 videos per week on YouTube channel, Sunday morning and Monday morning. And each message is its own love wisdom on relationships, on angelic support, on light language support, and more light language explanation, and anything else, such as walking in nature, and any support on meditation. So please subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you soon in my next video. So sending you so much love and wishing you all the best. So bye for now. Namaste.